Right now, criminals are eyeing our coastline, trying to smuggle people and drugs into our communities. But CBS 12 Investigates found Border Patrol is having a hard time putting a stop to it.
Tonight, after months of interviews, tough questions, and even a ride with the United States Coast Guard, CBS 12 Investigates uncovered a massive gap in Border Patrol resources both on land and at sea.
CBS 12's Michael Butcher joins us live tonight on board Marine Watch 12 with his exclusive investigation, Battle at the Border. Michael.
Yeah, the reality is we can tell you these waters here in Palm Beach County, a possible target not only for criminals, but for terrorists. The problem, you see, as we learned, Border Patrol does not have one of these, a boat. And that means they have a hard time patrolling our coast.
Is Palm Beach County a hotbed for smugglers?
Yes.
This is not surveillance video from a war-torn country. This is never-before-seen video. Obtained exclusively by CBS 12 Investigates from United States Border Patrol, right here in our backyard. Human smuggling arriving on the Palm Beach County coast, not far from the Winter White House. The dots on your screen are people paying thousands of dollars for a risky ride to illegally enter our country.
It's happening at all times.
Florida's expansive coastal border of 1,200 miles makes it nearly impossible to fully patrol.
We are definitely a prime landing spot for these transnational criminal organizations that want to smuggle people in contraband into Florida.
People from countries the State Department labels high risk: Syria, Sudan, and even Egypt. CBS 12 Investigates obtained these federal documents that show border agents from Florida to the Carolinas apprehended more than 4,300 people from 64 countries around the world trying to enter illegally. Could ISIS be eyeing our coast?
Absolutely, and I think it would be naive to think otherwise.
Former CIA officer Lisa Ruth.
You are seeing people come for a better life. But again, you're also seeing criminals. You're also seeing terrorists coming in.
And a lot of them are economic migrants. Some of them are aliens that have traveled from countries of interest to U.S.
Division Chief Peter Daniel and his fellow agents assigned to Miami sector, just 111 of them have the monumental task of securing our border.
How do you patrol 1,200 miles of coastline with just 111 people?
It is a challenge.
Our border agents patrol 1,200 miles with 111 agents. We found border agents patrol the same distance of 1,200 miles across America's southwest border with 11,000 agents.
How many vessels does Border Patrol have patrolling our coast?
Miami Sector Border Patrol does not have any vessels assigned to us.
You heard right, 1,200 miles to patrol and no boat of their own to patrol.
Do you feel like your hands are tied behind your back by not having a vessel?
Well, we certainly are challenged by the fact that that particular resource isn't always made available to us.
625, Station Roger.
What is available to them?
Coast Guard Station Lake Worth Inlet, Coast Guard Station Lake Worth Inlet, Coast Guard 45625, outbound Lake Worth Inlet.
The United States Coast Guard.
We'll conduct routine boardings with them. They check documentation.
That's how they patrol the border, by hitching a ride.
How do you do your job when they're doing their job?
We need to get on board a Coast Guard vessel to do our mission.
Terrorists know where we are weak. They know when we're weak. And they know very well that that trek from the Bahamas to Florida is an easy one.
Yeah, I'm back out live. Now that we've exposed this problem, we are looking for accountability. I could tell you right now that we are working to contact our lawmakers, to expose this to them, to show this to them, to see what they are able to do to try to fix this problem. Of course, we're going to keep investigating and stay on top of this story. For now, we're live aboard Marine Watch 12 in Palm Beach County. Michael Butchner, CBS 12 News.
Just 66 miles of ocean separates our coast from the Bahamas. It's a body of water exploited by smugglers like this one, creating a pipeline for guns, drugs, and people trying to get into this country. It's a problem authorities on the Bahamian side know about, but can't or won't shut down. CBS 12's Michael Butchner traveled to the Bahamas to investigate, where authorities weren't happy to see us.
The Bahamian government does not want to talk about this, but smugglers are eyeing our coast. In fact, law enforcement responded to several smuggling operations just in the last few weeks.
248 Eagle. We got the boat.
It's rare video of an intense takedown at sea.
I got 2 subjects driving it, standing up, and that's all I can tell so far.
Smugglers off the coast of Palm Beach County.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people laying down in the back of the boat.
A closer look at the never-before-seen video shows a boat packed with people, migrants from around the world, including Bolivia, China, and Ecuador.
Intercept with asset and target.
The feds track them from West End, Bahamas to Florida.
Position, north 2642.014, west 07951.741.
On board are convicted felons and people who have been kicked out of the country at least once before.
And it does absolutely make us vulnerable.
The dramatic takedown on the high seas, proof that the threat is at our front door. But it's what we don't see that concerns national security expert and former CIA officer Lisa Ruth.
Anybody who is caught, there's probably hundreds that are not caught.
People potentially looking to do harm.
We have experienced a high number of aliens traveling from Europe, the Middle East, the continent of Africa.
In a rare sit-down interview, United States Border Patrol Division Chief Peter Daniel tells me their biggest challenge is staying one step ahead of the smugglers.
We are definitely a prime landing spot for these transnational criminal organizations that want to smuggle people in contraband into Florida.
The way to stop it really is in the Bahamas, not here.
So what's being done in the Bahamas to stop it? We flew to Freeport to find out. Once there, government officials stamped our passports, but refused to allow us into the country. A country where we have been welcomed with our cameras before to cover hurricanes. But not this time, not for this story. After being held in the airport for several hours, a Bahamian government official ordered us to leave the country. We did, and back in Florida, found experts to speak openly about what those in the Bahamian government won't.
There are staging areas. There are certain areas in the Bahamas where people actually come together and stage and pay a lot of money to get passage to the U.S.
They'll pay the smugglers anywhere from $2,000 to $20,000, depending on their nationality, to be smuggled into the state of Florida.
So why Palm Beach County? Because it's just 66 miles straight east to Grand Bahama Island.
Terrorists are very, very smart. They have historically exploited every vulnerability we've got, and this is a huge one.
Border Patrol numbers show more than 2,200 apprehensions just in our area alone last year. We'll continue to dig into this to find out what's being done to stop it. I'm Michael Butchner, CBS 12 Investigates.
CBS 12 News at 5:30.
Now at 5:30, tonight a U.S. senator says we need more resources to protect our borders in response to a CBS 12 investigation. CBS 12 Investigates exposed a massive gap in Border Patrol resources on land and sea earlier this week.
CBS 12 Investigates' Michael Butchner broke the story. He joins us live tonight at West Palm Beach, where he just met with Senator Bill Nelson. Michael?
Yeah, I can tell you we had the opportunity to speak with the senator today. He told me he is aware of all of these challenges, and he says more resources are needed.
Do you think we need more agents patrolling our coast here?
Of course.
U.S. Senator Bill Nelson in West Palm Beach talking to CBS 12 about the findings of our months-long investigation into a lack of resources at Border Patrol. Our investigation found only 111 agents are assigned to cover 1,200 miles of coastal border.
How do you patrol 1,200 miles of coastline with just 111 people?
It is a challenge.
But that's not all. We also discovered Miami Sector Border Patrol does not have a boat of its own to patrol the maritime border. Instead, it's forced to rely on partners to get on the water. We asked the senator about that.
Shouldn't Border Patrol have the ability to get on a boat and go patrol the maritime border here?
Yes, and that's what they've been doing on the Coast Guard boats.
Border Patrol showed us that process of hitching a ride with the Coast Guard. The senator's comments come just days after Congressman Brian Mast responded to our investigation. He wrote this letter to Miami Sector Border Patrol asking what manpower and equipment the federal agency needs.
In an ideal world, you could throw a lot of money at them to give them that, but you know, we're trying to efficiently use the resources.
And now the senator made a point to point out the importance of Border Patrol working together with the Coast Guard to protect our coast. We're going to continue to ask questions. For now, we're live in downtown West Palm Beach. Michael Butchner, CBS 12 News.